Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring. We are Jaguar F-Type specialists and it is my real pleasure to show you another beautiful F-Type coupe. This time it's a V6 in Salsa Red on 19-inch propeller wheels with an array of great options and in truly stunning condition. Let's take a look around. The Jaguar F-Type really is a very stunning looking thing indeed. It is a beautiful combination of form and function, of style, aesthetics, engineering and technology. It's easy not to grasp that this is the F-Type. It is the true successor to the C-Type, the D-Type and the E-Type. And Jaguar would not have set foot down the path of manufacturing an F-Type without putting a vast amount of effort into getting it exactly right, into building a car that looks as sensationally well as it drives. And they succeeded. They've produced a design icon, more or less. It's a shape which we see referenced by other manufacturers' designs again and again. There are a number of features around the F-Type which are mirrored by other manufacturers in recent times. It's classically good looking. It's not a car which is dating as it grows into its middle age. And it is a car which combines not only graceful flowing curves, but suggestions of power like those large rear haunches, like the aerodynamic treatments around the car, which tell you this is a machine built to go fast. And having spoken about the F-Type in general, let's now chat about this one. And the key to what we do here at Sports and Touring is in how we source the vehicles that we retail. We put a vast amount of effort into only selecting the very best examples of the F-Type or of any other marque which we offer, not only in terms of their aesthetics, the way they look, the condition, the history, the technical standard of the car. We inspect vehicles very carefully in the workshops when they arrive and again before delivery to a customer. And this particular example has a great history, all Jaguar main dealer until 2020 and then a reputable independent since then, so it has been serviced regularly and correctly. It drives beautifully. It is in fabulous order in terms of the paintwork. The glass is perfect. The tyres are brand new on the front and have plentiful tread on the rear. And these beautiful 19-inch propeller wheels have just been refurbished with a full acid dip and then finishing and powder coating and oven baking process, just as wheels experience when they're manufactured first. And they are in stunning order too. Let's take a look in the cockpit. The car comes, of course, with 2 remote key fobs and the owner's book pack, and pressing the unlock button causes the aerodynamic door handle to pop out, and we can open the door and take a look around. And once again, we are delighted to have a car here where the door cards are as they left the factory. The scuff plate is unmarked. The seat, and these are the jet leather with Alcantara seats, so they're not going to be too hot in the summer and they'll keep you warm in the winter, are unmarked. There are no scuffs, no blemishes there where you might expect to see them. The whole cockpit is in fabulous order, and one of my favourite things to do is to sit down into an F-Type and absorb the environment. That solid clunk that tells of the engineering quality put into the door. And look at this cockpit. It is a fabulous match of technology and aesthetics. Beautiful flowing curves, this clever handle here which separates the driver's area from the passenger compartment. And looking at practical things, we've got a stowage there between the 2 headrests, another stowage under the armrest there with 12-volt supply, USB socket and auxiliary in for the audio system. We've got the twin cup holder under that cover there, And in the centre console here, this beautiful shift stick, which we'll look at in a moment, having started the engine. Push button start, of course, there, and we'll watch what happens as we fire up the supercharged V6. There's the little flying display on the instrument panel, and we see the centre air vent rise up into position to supply us with a fresh stream of conditioned air. Then, looking around, we've got the Eco Stop Start button, a button for the spoiler. So the spoiler comes up and down at particular speeds, but you can also select it up manually, particularly important when you're cleaning the car to do that. Electronic parking brake. And then the shift stick, this beautiful piece of design with the trigger on the front. It falls so easily to hand and looks so good. Operate the trigger, move it backwards, you're in drive mode, and then flick it sideways. That puts you into sports gearbox mode and also enables you to shift up and down using the shift stick. You can do that anytime, of course, as well, using the flappy paddles on the steering wheel. That's the gearbox and its two modes, drive and sport. And then here we've got the driving modes for the car, and they're indicated on the instrument binnacle. So if I move the switch rearwards, we can see the display turns red and confirms that dynamic mode has been engaged. We can disengage dynamic mode, and then we can go another flick forward into rain, ice and snow mode. Very useful for driving in tricky, slick conditions. Back to the centre console here, and we've got the air conditioning, of course. We've got recirculation available there, maximum screen heating and rear heated screen naturally, and press these buttons to access the heated seat controls. 3-stage electrically heated seats there. And then the very fully functioned infotainment system. There's the home screen from which we can go to the various audio options, FM and AM radio, DAB radio. We can use Source to connect Bluetooth, iPod. We've got CD and DVD built in. There's a USB access, and you can store your CDs as well. So as you play your CDs, you can store them into the car's memory to recall and replay later. Bluetooth telephony, of course. There isn't a phone connected just at the moment, but that's all fabulous. And then we've got another access to the audio functions there, and finally the satellite navigation here with that beautiful big screen, very clear display, and of course you can enter your destination and what have you. Very functional, very ergonomically well designed system, and with a great sound system as well. Over on the steering wheel, controls for the infotainment and Bluetooth telephony there. I mentioned the flappy paddles. We've got automatic headlamps. Over on the right hand side, the cruise control and active speed limiter, and the rain sensitive wipers as well. And that beautiful instrument binnacle with the very clear and large speedometer and rev counter, keeping you in touch with how the car is performing. It's a lovely place to be, and a light and airy space as well, because one of the options on this car is the panoramic sunroof with the sun blind, of course, for days when it gets too hot. Just slide that across and keep the heat out. And again, in fabulous order. I'm searching for any blemishes at all in this cockpit. The steering wheel is fabulous, the dashboard, everything about it is in really fine order and ready to please its next owner. Let's take a look in the boot. A lot of sports cars sacrifice boot space for looks, but Jaguar have cleverly incorporated over 300 litres of boot space in the F-Type. Yes, you have to pack soft bags. It's not a place for large, hard-sided suitcases. But with soft bags for your luggage, you've got plenty of room there for 2 or 3 weeks away. Friends of mine have toured Europe down into Italy onto those fabulous mountain roads in their F-Types without any difficulty at all. Little stowage there for the tyre inflation kit at the front. The boot extends out to the sides behind the rear wheel arches. And there's also a handy stowage just there under the boot floor where you can keep perhaps your driving paraphernalia. So not only is the F-Type a great sports car, but it's even a practical daily driver as well. I know many people who have an F-Type as their only vehicle, and they love having such a wonderful sports car part of their lives every single day. Looking round at the passenger side of the car, and we need to press unlock again because we have two-stage unlocking enabled on this particular vehicle. And there again is a fabulous looking door card, unmarked, a totally unblemished scuff plate. The carpet, dashboard, passenger seat, all in perfect condition. And this is the heart of what we do at Sports and Touring. We work very, very hard indeed, only to offer the very finest examples of the cars that we retail. And it's such a pleasure when we find one as good as this. Under the bonnet, and there is Jaguar's supercharged V6 power plant nestling under that plastic cover. On top of it, the supercharger, which delivers that extra air charge to produce so many horses. And that's enough to propel this F-Type from 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds and on to a top speed which is artificially limited at 161 miles per hour. But as I always say at this point in our F-Type videos, this is not a car about numbers. It's not a drag racing car to go to the strip or to try to beat people away from the traffic lights in. It's a car which connects driver through machine to the road and makes that time behind the steering wheel the most exotic and fulfilling and thrilling and exciting thing it can possibly be. It's a fabulous driver's machine, totally centred on the experience of manoeuvring this car along the road, through the traffic, round the bends, and so forth. The grip, the road holding, the stance, the acceleration make a very heady combination indeed. And again, looking under the bonnet here, you can see that this engine compartment has been very carefully looked after. There are no signs of anything amiss. It's all very clean and tidy and correct. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It's been a huge pleasure to show you another gorgeous F-Type. We're Sports and Touring. We're just outside Andover in Hampshire, open 7 days a week by appointment only. Do please WhatsApp us, email or telephone if you've got any queries, or if you'd like to see this car either in person or by video call. We'll try to help you through the buying process as well. If you've got a car you need to dispose of, we'll give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value with the minimum inconvenience. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA. Do please take a moment to read our reviews on Auto Trader. I'm ever so proud of our achievements there and what our previous customers say about us. And I will look forward to hearing from you very soon indeed.